a warrior, a survivor, and it's all because of God. She's a teacher and a healer, and it's all because of God. She's sassy, full of fire, with a heart that's made of gold. She will help you build your body, and it's so good for your soul.
Hi, and welcome to Life Unleashed with TLC, your host, Traci Lynn Cowan. I'm very excited to be here today. I feel like we're glowing. We got the glow sticks behind us, so we are ready to rock and roll. How's everybody doing out there? I am excited to say hello and just share with you one of my favorite topics that I work with a lot of clients on, and that is having balance in life. What does that mean, and how do we do it? I am always so glad that you ask these great questions, because I find that having balance in life is really an art, and it's something that we are just not, I don't think that we have this skill given to us, and it's what we learn over the years. And what happens when all of a sudden we form some bad habits and we get, around the wrong crowd, or we're around different people that bring our energy down and just, I call them the emotional vampires. And so how do we have balance in life? Work, play, have fun, families, for the mothers and the fathers out there, and the businessmen and businesswomen, and how do we juggle it all? And I found that if we practice principles in our daily life and our daily routines, that really helps us to set the schedules right. So what I mean by that is that we want to get up and we want to have intention right away. So I always start my day, and not everybody likes to pray. Not everybody prays, and you don't have to do any of this. This is only suggestions and things that have worked for me. Being A-type personality and recovering from being a people pleaser, a workaholic, an overachiever, and just trying to live this perfect image life. And as we know, that's not possible. And it took me many years to learn that, and the thing that I learned is one word is surrender. I love that word, because in order for us to surrender, that's what really helps us to elevate to that next level. And I love to set myself up for success. So waking up in the morning, having that just mindfulness for yourself, taking time for you before everything starts, before the kids start screaming, the dogs start getting ready to be fed. And I wake up I know that I have to wake up before my little munchkins, because I have my two little fur babies, Angel and Princess. And when Princess wakes up hungry, that's, you got to jump to it. So, and I know a lot of you are parents out there and just getting ready for work. So think about it this way. If we wake up in the morning and we just jump out of bed and we just go, or we jump out of bed, or we stay in bed and we look at social media, or we start checking our emails. Maybe we got a text message from somebody we didn't want to get a text message from, and it wasn't, something that made us feel very good. And I mean, how many people get those? And so what I do is I shut everything off. I turn it on focus mode. I will look and glance at my text messages just to make sure there's no emergency, and then I can go into my practicing of mindfulness. So prayer, meditation, and breath work is key, because I want to, even though we've been in a relaxed state and we're obviously sleeping and we're just waking up, aren't the wheels turning already? Aren't you thinking about, oh, this is what I have to do. I have to go here. I have to go there. I have to do this, go do that. And then think about some of you out there, and I know there's some of you that do this, because I did this forever. Now I have 3 calendars. So personal, pleasure, and then just an extra calendar just for work and all the appointments that I have, and maybe getting my nails done, things like that. So getting up and not looking at your phone, and not looking at social media, not listening to the news, and also before you go to bed as well, because if you're putting that into your system, you're downloading that into your system. Say you watch an action movie before you go to bed, and then, your dreams can be wild. I know I used to watch scary movies, and they were terrible. I used to have the worst nightmares, and then I used to watch action flicks, and I thought I was a superhero in my dreams, and that did not go over well. So just regulating the system and just calming down the energy. And it's the same when you get out of bed in the morning, because you want to set yourself up for success and you want to be calm. And so that you're not just running out of the gates like a racehorse. And so that you keep that same momentum and that same energy once you get out of bed. So say I get out of bed, I read a bad text, I read an email, I listen to the news about war and all these other things, and, and downloading that into my system. And then I wake up and I wonder why I'm already off. I'm off my game. So give yourself, honor yourself that time. So whether it's 10 minutes, 15 minutes, what is 10, 15 minutes? Get up 10, 15 minutes earlier. If you have a partner or a spouse, let them know, hey, this is my time. And whether they want to get up and, go do what they need to do, but just tell them that this is your time. So breathing, doing the breath work and just calming down the body and just really just staying in that nice meditative state. I listen to healing frequency music, which I love. You can find that on YouTube. You can go on anywhere and you can download that. And there's different frequency hertz so that you can listen to calm down the nervous system and calm down the mind and the body. And I do that before I go to bed as well. And it just really sets the tone for my sleep as well as for me waking up for that day. Setting priorities, so calendars. I grew up and my father was a calendar person, and he was like a day planner's day minder. I think he gave me one for my 7th birthday. I think that was one of the first presents my dad ever gave me. I'll never forget. I thought at the time, oh my goodness, this is interesting. And I thought it was boring, and I never thought I'd ever use a day planner. And now I can't live without it because we want to set ourselves up. So I know what I have ahead of me. If I don't know what I have ahead of me, think about it. If you have this, you have that, you're going to be late, you're going to be running around and not maintaining a schedule. And so that's going to show up for you in all your affairs. So say, I was guilty of it today. I was late, and I don't like to be late, and I like to admit it because I'm human. I make mistakes, and, I just mismanaged my time, and I knew all the things I had to do, but, fair share, I could not get my contact in for the life of me. So that was also that. So that was fun. But so what I'm saying is give yourself a little bit of time extra, because you never know what's going to come up. You have no idea. So things come up all the time. So I like to have things, I find that balance. So I have that work, play, business schedule, because all work, no play makes a very dull person, right? It is a fair expression, because I find that if I'm just going, working and putting into other people and, doing my business and helping people and doing all these things, and then just going to the gym and getting everything done, and then I don't have any play or downtime to be in nature, to go to the beach, go for a walk, go have some fun, go for dinner. And I put that into my schedule because I allot myself that time because I deserve it. And I think that a lot of us are forgetting about ourselves. And, I bring up the gym, and let's talk about healthy eating as well. As you all know me, I've been in the health and wellness industry for decades and decades. And I believe that even on the worst days, I have forced myself to go to the gym, even through pain and injuries and things like that. And it's hard getting there, but once you get there, you feel so good about yourself, and it just sets your tone for the day. So if you can get up a little bit earlier before you go to work or before you go do what you're doing, and give yourself that ability to go work out. Maybe you can want to work out at home. Maybe you want to do just a little bit of exercise. Get your clothes ready the night before for the gym. Get your clothes ready the night before for a walk. Get your clothes ready, get your breakfast ready, whatever it's going to be. And if you can set aside time to meal prep and have your meals ready, then you won't be like me today, starving and hangry. Because if you're not set up for success, again, it's going to flow into the rest of your day. And I mean, even setting healthy boundaries with people, no is an acceptable answer. And I have found that saying no is such a powerful thing, and it's such a beautiful thing, especially when you can step into your power and you can say no with actual conviction, but you don't have to be rude. You don't have to be mean. You can say no and just politely say, that's actually not going to work for me. And no, I don't have time to do that. I would love, let me know how that works out for you. And just, it's all in the approach of it. So setting schedules, getting prepared, and just having a timeline for yourself and taking time for you. So just taking a time out in the middle of the day, whether you go into your car and you just take a little time out, do a little bit of prayer, do just relaxation, close your eyes for a few minutes and just breathe. And I've learned so much in my life, and I learned that the time that I have for me now is so valuable, because before I never gave myself that grace. I never gave myself that period where I could slow down, because I thought that I always had to be going and I always had to be doing something. A jack of all trades and a master of none. And I really believe that there was a point in my time where in my life that I actually was living up to that phrase, because, we all know that person that's so busy. And I'm like, what are you so busy doing? So if you write out what you're actually going to do in a day and then check it off, what I do is I don't call it my to-do list, my living list. So, because to-do sounds like homework, it sounds too structured. So I like the living list. And what I do is I check it off as I go. And if I don't get it done in that day, no problem. Put it on to the next day, because then you don't give yourself that too much pressure where, especially if you're an overachiever or a recovering overachiever, you can really just, put a lot of pressure on yourself that way. So just give yourself the space to be able to check in with yourself and ask yourself how you're doing in a day. And if you're asking yourself how you're doing and checking in with the next, with yourself, like maybe once, twice, 3 times a day, I know it sounds kind of ridiculous, but just take a minute, just stop and go, how am I feeling? How am I feeling right now? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? Am I feeling irritable? Did I miss a meal? Did I not sleep well last night? Is there something going on for me? Do I have conflict in my life? Do I have some stress with, maybe it's a relationship or your family, or maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you're grieving. Check in with yourself and just ask yourself, how are you doing? And why we ask people every day, how are you? How many times a day do you ask yourself, how are you? Ask yourself that and be honest. If you're not doing okay, I just take out a pen and paper and I write down, you know what? Actually, this is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling kind of lonely maybe right now. Maybe I'm feeling sad. Maybe the loss of a loved one. Maybe I didn't realize that I'm grieving and that I need to let this and release this. Because when we store this trauma or this pain or this grief or anything like that, or sadness or loneliness, we store it in the body, and then we become sick, and then we get illnesses and things like that. So check in with yourself. Do a daily check-in. How are you? How are you? You know what? So practice that every day and just look at yourself in the mirror. How many times a day do we look at ourselves in the mirror? But do you really look at yourself in the mirror? I love looking in the mirror and just going, okay, instead of picking myself apart, which I used to do a lot, now it's like, what do I like about myself? And I say this and instill this to my clients and to myself on a daily basis, because if I'm not checking in and talking and just, giving that reinforcement to myself, you're doing a great job. You're doing a really good job. What about when we feel overwhelmed and we're just like, oh my gosh, I have so much to do? And I love these lofty questions that I learned from this Visham from Mind Valley. Give him a shout out because he is amazing. And I love what he's taught me, asking a lofty question. The lofty question is saying, instead of saying, why am I not getting anything done? I'm so overwhelmed. Or ask yourself, why am I getting so much done in so little time? Why am I always surrounded by bliss and happiness and peace no matter what? Why am I always such a vibrant being and so lovable and kind and compassionate? Why am I always feeding my body with nourishing and healthy foods? Why am I always kind to myself and compassionate? And just start reframing your questions to yourself and watch your life just explode in this magnificent way. The one thing that I really learned to do is ask these lofty questions. And now when I reframe it, I feel like I'm kinder to myself instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. And I use the words fully optimized because that's one thing that I learned. Instead of saying, I'm so busy, I'm slammed. You think about it, words are so powerful, right? And I've talked about it before, and I say it all the time, and I share it with people. But I just need a break, and I'm so slammed, I'm so busy, and I'm so overwhelmed. I can't talk, and feel the energy coming off of me when I'm saying that. And let's reframe it, let's reword it, and go, why am I getting so much done in so little time? It's okay, because if I don't get it done today, I can get it done tomorrow. And feeling that need to always get everything done in one day is it's impossible. So surrender to the fact that, we're doing our best. You're only human. And just ask yourself, am I suiting up today and showing up for people in the way that I really want to suit up and show up for people? And when I start asking questions like that to myself at the end of the day, how'd you show up for people today, Traci Lynn? And, you can give yourself honest feedback. It's write it down and say, I could have worked on this a little better. Maybe I was a little impatient with somebody. Maybe I was not as so tolerant with somebody. And how do I want to suit up and show up tomorrow? So what am I going to change today that'll make me a better person for tomorrow and have a better day tomorrow? And so I love being able to just be kind to ourselves, but, take ownership of your part of you, because so many people, some people give us feedback in life, but our friends and family are like, no, you're doing great. You're good. You're no problem. But really check in with yourself. Ask yourself, how do you feel about how you are presenting yourself to the world? Because I know that when I step out of my place every day and I suit up and show up for you guys, and authentically and genuinely and lovingly, that's the type of person that I want to be every day. And is it going to be like that every day? No, it's not. But set yourself up for success, prioritize, set healthy boundaries, learn to say the word no, feed yourself nourishing, healthy food, get that sleep, 6 to 8 hours. I mean, I'm not ashamed to say I sleep 8 hours because I'm proud of myself for being able to do that. I used to be proud of myself before. Oh, I can only sleep 3 to 4 hours. And, that makes me a hero of some kind. And I thought, you know what? No, because that's where it starts to wear you down, and, you start getting mature in age, and it starts to catch up with you. So be kind to yourself, be kind to your body, get out there and exercise, get out in nature, be with the birds. I woke up to the birds chirping today, and I thought, what a simple, beautiful pleasure, just listening to the birds singing. And I was just so in love with the sound that came out of these little birdies. And I thought, thank you, God. Thank you, universe, for waking me up today so that I can just, go do amazing things and capitalize on every second that I have in this day. I'm so grateful, and I am excited. I have my new office, my healing and wellness office opening up, and April 1st. So if you're looking for some coaching, you want to work through some trauma, doing some transformation work, empowerment work, I would love to have you on board. And you can reach out to me and find out on social media. You can also email me, Traci Lynn at tlcunleashed.com. My website is coming. It's still under construction. We're revamping and making it even more beautiful. And I'd love to be your coach. I'd love to be able to guide you on this path and this journey together. And if you have any questions or any episodes that you want to see in the future on Life Unleashed with TLC podcast, weekly podcast, I definitely love your feedback. We're going to be going live on some episodes, and we've got some great guests lined up. I hope that you're making an impact on this world, and you're not only making an impact on this world, but you're making a great impact on yourself as well. Thanks for joining me today. You can follow me on social media at TLC Unleashed, and you can also follow me at Traci Lynn Cowan, Traci spelled with an I, and Life Unleashed podcast with TLC every week on Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Rumble, all of the social media platforms. I'm so glad you guys are here, sending out love and light, and have a peaceful and blessed day. Bye for now.
She's a warrior, a survivor, and it's all because of God. She's a teacher and a healer, and it's all because of God. She's sassy, full of fire, with a heart that's made of gold. She will help you build your body, and it's so good for your soul.